Hey everyone, I'm sitting in my office getting ready to go to the senior center. I do have an event today, along with, I'm thinking that this event is going to overlap the bingo, so I won't be going to bingo today. Instead, I'll be going to this event, and I'm excited about it. It is called a working lunch, and yeah, let's get over there and let's see what this is all about. I'm excited about it. Hello everyone, I'm here at the senior center and we're about to go into a class and it's on first aid and health, and I will take some videos as I go in there to show you exactly what they're covering. But this is a free of charge put on by EMS in our area, and it's going to teach us how to render first aid if we need to and prepare for potential disasters, because we are in Hurricane Alley. And so it's an important lesson and important information for all of us to know what to do in case of an emergency. I'll see you inside. First course is first aid and wound care.
So he's going to talk to you a little bit after I am, but he's our EMS director. He'll most likely talk to you if you ever have a question or anything like that. Yeah. So, okay, so does everybody, let me ask, does everybody have first aid kit at home?
No.
Yep. Some sort of first aid something, okay? How many keep it in their car? Does anybody keep one in their car? Keep a little one in your car? So that's a good idea, right? You can get some little ones, you can make your own, even just some Band-Aids and some wound cleaner, something like that, right? Because accidents happen away from home as well. So, first thing we're going to talk about, types of bleeding, right? Minor, major, little cuts, no big deal. Clean it, dry it, bandages, go on about your day, right? These can be cuts from a knife or a utensil, could be a skin tear, right? Which is probably pretty common. Those are okay. If it's major bleeding, so it's gushing, spurting, pouring out of the wound, that's when we want to talk about calling 911. You want to do more, that's going to be more than what you're going to be able to handle.
You don't talk loud enough.
That are a variety of abilities and a variety of prices. But to start with bleeding, a couple different kinds. Bad bleeding is gushing, spurting, bright red, pouring out of the wound. That's bad. Call 911. Minor bleeding from minor cuts or skin tears, things like that, where it's just kind of oozing or drizzling out, that's something that you can take care of at home and don't necessarily need to go to the hospital or call 911 unless that makes you feel better. So if it's major, we want to call 911, right? We're going to talk also about what to do in the meantime. Minor, you're going to want to wash it, clean it, dry it, cover it, bandage it, okay? Okay, so if it's minor, soap and water, best friend. Everybody's got some, right? If you want to go an extra step further, you can use the wound cleansers, the Bactine spray, the saline spray, any of those commercial products. No hydrogen peroxide.
Why?
Old school thinking is hydrogen peroxide, it bubbles, it kills all the bacteria, but it also damages the tissue. So, no hydrogen peroxide. Okay?
You ever notice when you use hydrogen peroxide, it makes like the wound light?
Yeah.
Because it kills all those cells.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
so
nice to know.
Yeah, so it makes the healing take longer, and if it's really deep or big, it can damage it. It even lead to an infection later because those cells are dying off. So, yeah. Soap and water, best way to go.
Soap and water. But like I said, if you want something that's a commercial product, right, they've got them at Walmart, Kroger, Walgreens, Amazon, nice Amazon connoisseur, get it delivered right to your door. Clean it. If you have or feel like you want to put like a topical antibiotic ointment on it, you can, Neosporin. If you can't use Neosporin because maybe you're allergic to the neomycin that's in it, bacitracin is another one, also readily available for just a few bucks at the store. Bandage it with an appropriate bandage, and that's going to be either just a Band-Aid of whatever size that you choose, or it could be a gauze that has a non-stick coating, so it won't stick to that wound, which you don't want. You don't want to put it on that wound, it stick, and when you go to remove it or change that bandage the next day, peel the scab off, and then now we're reintroducing that wound, right? If your bandage does stick to the wound, I'm going to tell you the best thing is just soak it with some water, soften it up before you remove that bandage, okay? Keep it clean, keep it dry, keep it covered. We don't want to introduce any kind of bacteria or anything into that open wound. If it's major bleeding, so gushing, spurting, bright red, can't stop the bleeding, direct pressure on it, right, with whatever you have handy. Ideally, it's something clean, right, clean towel, clean shirt, something. Direct pressure, elevated above the heart. Once the bleeding slows down or stops enough, you can put a bandage, and in the meantime, someone needs to be calling 911 to get us out there to check it out. That may be something that requires stitches. You got a little red spot on your skin, cool it with some water, 10 to 15 minutes, let that burn area start to cool down. If it's an open blister or something, then you may want to go have that seen. Clean it with soap and water, same thing, right? Bandage it with a bandage. Yeah, because especially if it's broken skin, because you don't want any kind of introduction of anything.
I've got a client here that says vinegar takes the burn out. Have you heard of that?
So I'm gonna say that vinegar has been known to, I've heard and may or may not have used vinegar for a sunburn,
Yes.
and it will take the heat, yes.
The fire.
But if it's like a cooking incident or something like that, I'm not gonna use vinegar on it. That's not an end-all be-all, right? Like, that's a whole different kind of burn, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't do vinegar, soap and water, clean it. If you wanna put a burn gel, aloe vera, that's okay. That's about all I'm doing.
Do they not put silver dye out so people heat up over the
I don't see, I have not seen that sold. I think they've taken Silvadine off. But if they can't, or they're turning blue, then they're probably choking. And try to get them to cough to see if they can dislodge whatever may be stuck. If that doesn't help, then you may do the Heimlich maneuver. And that's a very simple, I got a picture around the belly, one fist, grab your fist, put your thumb right at or above the belly button, and push in and up forcefully, right? So you're gonna stand behind the choking person, and that should, you may have to do it a couple times to get to dislodge whatever's in there, right?
So the thumb measures down from the breastbone to where
So,
you need to be?
I like to do pinky in the belly button, thumb at the bottom of the breastbone, and that's where my fist goes. Right, so the real main thing is you want to be just under the rib cage. So when you pull in, you go under the rib cage and then up into the rib cage, kind of like hooking it up inside the rib cage.
And then yourself,
Don't do it over the rib cage.
when you do that yourself, it's gonna be the same place that over a couch or chair or something?
Yeah. So if you don't have anybody and you're by yourself, you can use a chair.
Usually use it like a quarter with the back side. I prefer a quarter. It's not easy, so it takes a little effort. you're gonna put it in kind of that same spot, and you just wanna kind of push yourself onto that chair, or pull the chair into you to make yourself.
So not your fist, but the corner of the chair.
Correct.
I'm gonna die.
So if you're doing it, just come behind somebody.
Yeah, use the smallest one in the room.
I know. Find the bottom of the rib cage, you go just below that. You just wanna put the other hand on top, squeeze in and up.
So for taller people, you gotta have some other kind of.
So for taller people, you might have to reach over, or they may have to sit in a chair. Ever heard of FAST? The easy way to remember that, if you think someone might be having a stroke, is facial droop, arm weakness, slurred speech, and then T is time to call 911, right? A helpful thing that you can tell us is if you know when they were last normal, that's a helpful thing when EMS arrives. If you suspect it but aren't sure, call us, right? Because let us come out and check you out and evaluate you and go from there. If they're not acting themselves, you know, repeated questions, slurring speech, or just random words that aren't making sense, those could be signs of stroke. Could be signs of other things too, but call 911 for that, right? That's beyond what you guys can do at home. Heart attack, chest pain, discomfort, feels like an elephant sitting on your chest is a common statement that we hear. Feels like a lot of pressure, a ton of bricks sitting on my chest. They may be short of breath. They may be nauseated. They may vomit. They may be sweating. They may have a grayish color to their skin. Or they may just simply not feel well and not know what's wrong, but something's not right. For women are going to present differently, or can present differently, rather. So women don't always have the classical signs of the elephant in the chest, pain down the left arm. Women will have signs like, I feel like I got the flu. I just feel not myself today. I have pain in my jaw, pain in my neck, back of my shoulder. So women will present differently, and then women will then turn around and say, it's fine, I just did a lot in the garden yesterday, and it'll be okay, right? If it's something abnormal, I'm gonna tell you, call us, let us come out and check you out, right?
We have lots of meetings and set up command structure and figure out how we're gonna fix it, and then it's fixed. Everything's great, blue skies, wonderful day. Right, so that's how it works. Bad, fix it, better. Boom, I'm done. The end. All right, so really what emergency management does is we do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. It's not always fun stuff or glamorous stuff. We do hazard analysis. Every 5 years, we do a hazard mitigation plan. Some of you might have seen that on our web page or Facebook page, and we're updating our hazard mitigation plan now. And we analyze all the potential hazards that Alvin could face, right? And so there's a matrix that we follow that does that. Whether hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, right? Some of those things affect us, some don't. And so we rate those on a scale, and we figure out where we're gonna put our efforts and time into training and preparing for, right? We also developed the city's emergency management plan, which is about a 680-page document that tells us how we're gonna respond and gives us certain authorities and things that we can do during disasters. My job as the emergency management coordinator is to make recommendations to the emergency management director. Who do you think is the emergency management director for the city? Who is the emergency management director for the city?
Ooh.
It's the mayor.
Oh.
Okay.
We're gonna die.
Very good. In Texas, the most powerful people in the state are mayors and county judges when it comes to disasters. They have the ultimate authority,
They do.
even over the governor. We're very home ruled centric in the state of Texas, and so the mayor is who is in charge of disasters. They can set curfews, they can set prices, they can stop price gouging, they can commandeer public and private property or equipment. They can do a lot of things in a disaster. County judges, same thing, they can order evacuations and make you leave your house. So they're the most powerful people during a declared disaster are the mayors and the county judges. Now, most towns in Texas are small, and the mayors are elected, and they're just somebody like you and me, right? They're a citizen. So they're not always necessarily have all the experience to make those decisions during a disaster, and so they appoint an emergency management coordinator who does it more regularly, and we make recommendations, right? So my job is to make sure that all of our paperwork is done, our plan is up to date, all our things are in order, our training is done. When there's a disaster coming, I'll meet with the mayor and go, hey, we probably should make a disaster declaration, and these are the things that we probably should implement, and then he can agree or not agree, and those things happen.
We're doing good.
We have hazmat spills, right, transportation issues. We have a major highway network that goes through Alvin. Yeah, Highway 6, Highway 35. We have a major railway line that comes through Alvin. You ever look at those rail cars coming through Alvin?
Yeah, when they start.
We just kind of lump a lot of those chemical cars together and call it methyl ethyl death. Because there's all kinds of nasty stuff in those rail cars. And so we have to be prepared for hazmat spills, train derailments, that kind of thing. Nuclear facilities, is there any nuclear facilities around here? Bay City.
Bay City does. Mm-hmm.
Bay City, and we're about, I think, last time, like it would change, I think we're about 50 some odd miles as a crow flies from that place, so it's not that far. Water system failures, right? We lose our fresh water or our septic systems, that's bad. Right? Toilets don't flush. That's a disaster.
Yeah, that's a disaster. It sure is.
So, and then we also have terrorism and those kinds of issues as well. So we look at those, we decide. Oh, it is karaoke day. I don't know that song. So we look at all these things, we look at how likely they are to occur, and then what type of impact they would have, right? Like a thunderstorm is very likely, we have them all the time, but are they impactful? Typically not, and so we don't do a lot of those. Yes, ma'am. Command center, and this is a picture, maybe from Earl, no, I think that's from maybe Harvey. I think the bottom was Harvey. And so this is what our emergency center looks like when it's activated. We have most of our command staff in there, and we go through our plans and figure out our strategies on how to deal with the issues. And we set objectives for each shift, and we go out and we try to make those things happen. Right? We try to be prepared to help the citizens. The best way for us to be prepared is guess what? For you to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because everybody complains about big government. We don't want big government, we don't want a lot of taxes. You don't want big government, you don't want a lot of taxes, well, your streets may not be that great, and you may not get a lot of help. Right? Because big government can be helpful in a disaster. I don't like big government. But the alternative then is, if you don't want the government coming in and being dependent, or you being dependent on them, then you've got to take care of yourself and be prepared. So the better off prepared you are, the better prepared we are, and the less we have to do. So making sure that you have a plan. What are you going to do if there's a disaster? We talk a lot about hurricanes because that's probably the biggest, most impactful one. But what happened this last winter? We got a snowstorm. Right? We don't often plan and think about snowstorms in South Texas. What if we had train derailment? If you live within a mile of the train tracks, which most everybody in Alvin does, and we had a major nasty trail derailment like what happened in Palestine
Mhm.
ago, where the whole city was evacuated, where are you gonna go? And what does that look like? You think they had 3 days notice that they were gonna get evacuated, like for a hurricane?
Nope.
No, they woke them up in the middle of the night and said, get out of your house. So, you need to have a plan for events like that, or a tornado. We don't normally get impacted by large tornadoes, but we do get a lot of tornadoes in South Texas. They're not talked about that much, because they're smaller. We don't usually get the F3, 4, and 5 big tornadoes that wipe out everything. But we get a lot of little ones. And a little one that hits your house is a big one. Right? So, we had a fatality from a tornado this last Christmas.
Mhm.
And so it can happen. You have to be prepared. What's your plan? Do you have a bag packed with a few things of food and water and some clothes, medications that you can get up and leave your house in a short notice? You have a communication plan with your family that says, hey, if you can't get me on my cell phone, I'm probably gonna be at Joe's house. Or call Bob who lives in Austin, and I'll call Bob who lives in Austin, and we'll touch through that person in case you can't reach me directly, right? Those are all good communication plans. Have someone you can reach out to that doesn't live in the area, that you can communicate your plans to, and the rest of your family can go through them as well. During hurricanes, a lot of the cell phone towers get knocked out for a while, right? So you may not be able to get good coverage or talk to each other. You can register on 211 for evacuation assistance, which means that if there's a hurricane and a mandatory evacuation is ordered, somebody will come to your house and pick you up, take you to an evacuation hub, which ours is in Pearland, and you'll be put on a state bus and taken to a shelter somewhere in Central Texas. And you'll stay there until the disaster's over, and then they'll bus you back. So that should be your last resort plan.
Yes.
And it's a good plan. We used it a couple of times, and it's worked. The only downside is you're gonna have to get on the bus, and you're gonna have to go to somewhere in Central Texas and sleep in a gymnasium with 100 other people, right? You can take your pets. Yes. The state of Texas requires that we will evacuate your pet. They may not travel with you in the same bus, and you have to have a carrier. And it can't be like a python or an alligator. It can't be an alligator. Inside that bag is one of those.
We've got a meal.
There's also some other
You can eat it.
handouts on preparedness.
I am taking away the bread and eating my sandwich without the bread.
I
Pickle.
want a pink can.
Here's a little.
Hello everyone. I want to thank you for joining me at the Senior Center today. It was such a blessing and so much fun to go there. And y'all saw the footage. We learned a lot, we got a lot, and I'm going to show you also a backpack. We got a backpack full of safety stuff, okay, from the first aid as well as the evacuation seminar. And we got emergency items in there, and I'll do another video showing you that. But I just wanted to close this one out and let you know that I appreciate each and every one of you for coming in and stopping in and blessing me with your views and with your comments, with your thumbs up, with your subscribe, all of that. It counts. And I'll see you on the next video.